So I guess the game's not quite done with calling me out on my foreshadowing shtick. It did enough of that in the previous segment, as you would have seen, but now we just have this. I think the most surprising aspect of this is that I managed to find this thing inside maybe like 15, 20 encounters at the most. Let's go ahead and see how difficult this thing's going to be to catch. I don't expect it to really put up much of a fight. Yeah, first ball. So, I had a look at the pace bin and found out that the 1 to 100 Magikarps are actually also included in the surfing table for this place, which is kind of cool. Okay, fine. Now if my commentary goes down the shitter, I literally have no choice but to just roll with it. Oh my fucking god. I was about to say because they're in the surfing encounter tables as well, I could have theoretically taken the level 99 Magikarp, put it up front, and then just repel trick to get a 50% shot at a level 100 one. Nah, don't fucking need it now, do I? What the fuck are the odds of this shit? 99 and then 100 immediately afterward. How the fuck does that work? Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, so I've got 2 trophies now, and it's actually depressing because this is a segment where I'm going to be going after a bunch of legendaries, and they're not going to be anywhere near as noteworthy as these 2 Magikarps now, considering the order at which I got them. Okay. Sure. I guess we could compare their stats or something like that. What's Rash again? Plus special attack, minus special defense. Okay. I'd say this one's got better speed. Well, no, Naive gives it a boost in speed. This one's certainly got the better attack IV. Definitely the better HP IV. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm sticking with this. It's... What the fuck? Oh my fucking god. I guess the game decided to give me a break after the travesty that was the previous segment. I'm still fucking real. I imagine I'll be reeling from that for the rest of the segment. Ugh, Jesus fuck. Okay, let me try and piece together what the fuck I was doing. I was definitely going after a legendary of some variety. I figured I'd go after the Regi trio in this, as well as Regigigas. So I guess if I'm going to do that, I should probably switch up the team a little bit. Because in order to get the Regis in this hack, I've got to take with me a Relicanth and a Wailord, which is a bit of a reference to how you would obtain them in the Ruby and Sapphire. So I guess we'll go with Ghost Trick. We'll take you out, and then I've also got to go and grab the Wailord. Big ol' fucking wailing dude. Yeah, I guess I'll go Suricate. Don't really need Suricate. I think I'd rather have stuff that can tank hits from the Regis in case they do prove themselves to be a bit hard hitting. I don't expect them to be that much, but you never know. Tropius, just keep him around for the flying purposes. Spearmint's got the sleep inducing, so I'm probably going to want to do that. I could easily just get rid of Will-O-Wisp and put Thunderwave on Mit Roast and sort that out. I might do that at some point if these golems prove to be obnoxious, but I think we're sorted team-wise for this. Does mean I'm probably going to have to make team display images for Relicanth and Wailord, but nah. I do kind of enjoy making those team display images though, so I guess these two can have one as well, so why the fuck not? Maybe at the end of the segment I'll encounter one more Magikarp in the water there and see if it's a shiny. Look, I won't lie, I'm hoping that the game does not call me on that bluff. Oh yeah, Super Rod's back on the thing. Because I did do a bit of fishing in order to get the a few Magikarp encounters off screen. Okay, so we'll just go after them in Dex order, I guess. So, normally the way you'd go after the Regis in this game is you'd have to get a Fateful Encounter Regigigas, which you'd get like from an event distribution. You'd carry it with you and it would cause these things to show up here. But in this game, of course, that's been switched over to, so now you just need the two Pokemon that were alluded to in the Ruby Sapphire method. And you just sort of do these ones. And then the statue itself proves to be the Pokemon, so I'll throw a save state here, and we'll get right into this, shall we? And because these encounters are native to Pokemon Platinum as the base game, you do get to listen to their epic encounter music, so that's quite nice to have as well. Now, Regirock is... all three of them are greatly defensive. Regirock is the more physical defensive of the trio, so I kind of figured a Thunderbolt would probably do a fair amount of damage. I don't think it has terrible special defense, but it obviously is a bit more specialized towards the physical side of things, which is interesting because there is a Steel type member of this trio, and you'd kind of figure that it might be a bit harder, but I guess Steel makes sense for it to be, like, if it's harder than both Rock and Ice, it would make sense for it to be sort of the balanced member of the trio. So after missing with the Grass Whistle a few times, we've got a bit of a opening here. Let's see how many balls it takes to freaking catch this thing. It has a catch rate of 3 like most legendaries does, so getting up to 1 and breaking out is probably going to be the norm here. I'm not too sure how far I want to go into this before I start speeding stuff up. That Sandstorm isn't exactly ideal, so I think I'll put some rain out now. Because now that Sandstorm killed Spearmint, so I can't put this thing back to sleep. I'm starting to think Thunder Wave might be the better option here. At least it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, because as long as it keeps using Superpower, it's just going to get weaker and weaker. So that's a nice thing to have as well. God, really? I have to scroll the cursor down every time I want to use another Premier Ball. That's a bit shite. That had to have been a critical, because it could not have killed Tidal otherwise. Okay, this thing's got Sandstorm on the moveset, which sucks. Makes me wonder what's going to be on Registeel's moveset. Because, like, it's a Steel type, so Sandstorm would also work pretty well for it, but it's also not Rock move? I don't know. I guess I would expect Hail on Regice then. So I guess just having Tidal with me to turn those weather effects off will be handy. Alright, so you're dead as shit. And then I imagine that the rest of these are probably going to get their asses handed to them real quick. Kind of wondering now if it's used all 5 of its superpowers. I figure that's probably the case. I got to 3 there on that ball. Oh, got it. Okay. I wish I could say that encounters like this kind of stand out in comparison to just corresponding encounters in the other LPs, but besides the fact that these Regis just sort of have their own unique shtick in this base game in general. They probably don't, but they are legendaries. They are kind of like significant in that regard, so I don't really see much of a reason as to why they should be snaffled up off screen. What's the plus speed minus defense? Oh god. Suffice it to say that is rather shitty in nature for that thing. Okay. I believe our next port of call is Mount Coronet. So I think we'll go in there from Celestic Town. I think that's probably the best way to get in there. I think we want to head like up here somewhere. Get past this, and then I think just on the way here. Yeah, here we go. This should be the cave right here that has Regice. And here we go. The dots on the floor have a different pattern to them. This is, of course, reflective of the legendary that we're going up against here, so you'll notice the dot pattern on Regice when we encounter this thing is going to be the same as what's on the floor. Just as the H pattern was the same on the floor as it was for Regirock. Yeah, throw an alternate save, I guess. Is there anything? I'll stick with the original plan with Grass Whistle for this, and if I don't like it, then I'll change over to Thunder Wave for Registeel. Once I get all three of these, I've got to put them all in the team so that I can go after Regigigas at the bottom of Snowpoint Temple. Okay, yeah, Thunderbolt. Regice will be a bit more resilient against Thunderbolt because it is the special defensive mon of the trio. It's rather unfortunate that it doesn't really get to show off its special defensive prowess as much. I think the time when the one time when it got to do that effectively was towards the start of Gen 3 before Blissey was implemented. I think Regice was the designated special wall of early Gen 3 meta. And I think that's about it. It's a bit more useful in Pokemon Go. As a matter of fact, all three of the Regis are. Besides Regigigas. Regigigas is just as much of a piece of shit in Go as it is in this. But there was a raid event, I think towards the back end of last year, where the Regigolems had both their shiny forms released as well as they were given access to Lock-On, and Lock-On lets them charge up a shit ton of energy really quick and just launch some really powerful charge moves. And so the best beneficiary of this ended up being Registeel, just because it's a great defensive typing. It's a Regi, so of course it's going to be quite defensively sound, and it had access to some pretty good charge moves. I think the two that you usually use on it in the PvP scenario is Flash Cannon, for obvious reasons, and then also Focus Blast, which you can't call Focus Miss because you can't actually miss attacks in Pokemon Go. It's like you get two shields with which to stop opponents' charge attacks, so that you can always have it sort of slam into a shield. But besides that, Focus Blast can't actually miss. So, yay. It's like it's living its dreams in Pokemon Go where it will never ever miss. It's like even the anime creators knew how much of a bullshit accuracy level Focus Blast has, because there was like I remember seeing a GIF somewhere of like Ash's Scraggy trying to hit this fucking thing with Focus Blast and completely missing, despite the fact that the opposing Pokemon literally was not moving at all. Which was absolutely hilarious. And I think they threw in the opposing Pokemon's trainer just sort of flicking his hair with his hand in like a really smug look on his face, because of course just about everybody that Ash goes up against has to have an incredibly smug or just elitist attitude towards them. So I am nearly out of Premier Balls here, so it is quite likely that I'm going to have to redo this fight as a result of running out of Premier Balls as opposed to losing all of my Pokemon or this thing being brought down to struggle. I think at this point I would... Okay, that's fine. I think I would rather have had that situation happen than just catch the thing with, like, one Premier Ball left, because then I'd have to go off screen and buy more Premier Balls. Not that I'm not going to be going off screen any time soon. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to cut now and come back once this thing's been caught, because I think I blew about 50 Premier Balls and failed to catch that thing because it's a dick. So I'll be back when I've caught this cold. So what's funny about that is that was the first ball I threw at it after it woke up and used a Hyper Beam to kill Spearmint. So I'm not too sure how I feel about that. It's almost as if the sleep didn't really matter that much anyway. And it's actually funny because my failed attempt, the Regi spent most of the time paralyzed. So maybe I will just stick with Grass Whistle on Registeel. Maybe it's like either just put the fucking thing to sleep or just don't give it a status and then I'll be happy. I also feel like I need to apologize for that really shitty pun. I just, like, tried to come up with something to say afterward and then I just didn't bother because I felt kind of bad about that one. That was a rather shitty one. So, I'm just like, fuck that. I'm just gonna wait till I catch this thing and then apologize. I don't think it took that many balls, actually. I think I started with, like, 55 or something. And I'm down to, what, 45? So that's probably about 10-ish balls. So that's not so bad. Okay, so now that that's out the way, I believe... Yeah, Iron Island. I had to just think for a second where Registeel was at. It's at the island that's named after a steel, a metal. A metallic element. We'll just refer to it like that. Okay, lots of ground that I need to traverse here that includes wild encounters, so gonna have to rappel my way through this. Hopefully I only need to take like one or two. Also just random nurse here, because, you know, I forgot about this place. No. As long as I don't have to use this last one and I can keep it in the top slot of the PC so that I can just buy more and not have to scroll all the way back down and then all the way back up just to put it back. I should be fine. Okay, yeah, let's just sort of roll with this, I guess. Alright. So, we've got, this sort of setup is just the one that I usually associate with the 7-star Dragon Ball, because there were, like, these discs that you could get from, chip packets back in like 2002 or something like that. I think it was like 2001 or just like really early turn of the century era or whatever. And on the backs of them you would have a certain amount of stars on them, like the Dragon Balls. And I just sort of remember the 7-star ball just having this sort of pattern on it. So okay, so we have the Transformers noise, as everybody likes to refer to it. And in addition to that, Registeel is not being offensive in this, because there is a sprite of Registeel, as I'm sure most of you are aware of, where it has its arm raised in a pose where it's kind of looks like it's doing a Nazi salute. So that's actually pretty decent. Gets it right down into the red, and I've got the paralysis as well, so hopefully this thing's not going to be an asshole. There's the aforementioned Flash Cannon. I wonder if it's also got Focus Blast. I wonder if it can actually get like all three of the moves that I mentioned earlier in this hack. Because it's just lock on, it's obviously got Flash Cannon, and I think it only makes sense for it to be able to learn Focus Blast through a TM. thing I do notice though is that Flash Cannon is running off of the special attack stat here, so superpower won't be affected in any way, shape or form. So what's it got? Hyper Beam, superpower, Flash Cannon, and so what's the fourth move? It might have used it already, I'm not too sure. Iron Head, so it just doesn't have a weather move on it, which I guess makes sense. There's not really a weather move specific to steel types. It's like they get benefits from Sandstorm, but that's very much more rock and ground based than it is like steel based. I think it's just because it's steel and it's weathered to sort of endure shit like that it becomes unaffected by a Sandstorm. Did I just seriously go through 30 balls like that? That's kind of nuts, actually. I wish there was a way to implement the, like, stacking Premier Ball thing in this hack. Because, like, in Sword and Shield, and I think the Let's Go games as well, you can buy, like, 100 Pokeballs in one transaction and get a Premier Ball for every 10 in that transaction, instead of just having to buy 10 and then 10 again and again and again and again and again to stock up on Premier Balls. Okay, that was my last Premier Ball, so I guess we get to cut again until this thing decides to stay in one. So it turns out Registeel is the resident asshole of this trio, because I think I've got like 5 Premier Balls left. So more cutting up ahead, I guess. After I have gone back and had a gander at this Registeel and the Regice as well, because I forgot to do that after catching it. But gonna have to buy a shit ton of Pokeballs off screen. Shit ton of useless Pokeballs, I might add. It's not like I'm going to use one to catch any shinies that I come across. Shouldn't have said that. Okay, Calm Nature, really good for Registeel. I mean, I don't think it cares too much about its attacking abilities, but I guess you can use it as a bit more of a special attacker type. Because, I mean, you've got Flash Cannon on it. You can obviously use Hyper Beam, so that's a pretty good nature for it. And Quirky, well, it's neutral, so it's just inherently garbage. Okay. So now that I've got all these 3, I can put Relicanth and Wailord back in the PC. Their purposes have been served. So you can go back there to rot for all eternity, and you can just sort of sit here and eventually just gross the shit out of everybody else when your carcass eventually explodes. Because that's kind of a thing that wild carcasses are known to do. I think it's like a buildup of gas or something inside them that causes that shit to happen. Okay. Don't think we really need a title here. Think we'll be right. I don't think we have any weather problems to be dealing with. And then in the meantime, we will go ahead and put the Regi trio in the PC. Not the PC, the party. Because they are in fact mandatory. And yes, I am just that anal enough to leave the golems at the back of the party. Alright. So let's head on up here to Snowpoint City and get this last asshole out of the way. Which actually reminds me. Hello, friendo. You've got super repels, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that. And oh yeah, that's right, because yeah, I gotta do that. How many Premier Balls have I got at the moment? With that? Okay, yes, 6. Probably gonna go all the way up to 50 here, so I will go ahead and cut that out, and I will join you back when we're ready to go into the temple and get this last asshole. Alright, this should do the trick. I'm hoping this doesn't take too many of these balls, because I've got more legendaries to catch. Probably not in this segment, because I'll probably end the segment once I'm done with the Registeel, Regigigas rather. But yeah, I've still got quite a fair amount of legendaries to go after. Thankfully, not all of them have a catch rate of 3. Like, I could probably go after Dialga and Palkia at some point, because they've got a catch rate of 30. But we'll see what happens. I did put a repel on, right? Yeah, I did. Stocked up to 50 of those. I think I showed that off on screen at least. And so now I've got to go through all these stupid things. Remind me again how the fuck this works. No. Oh boy. Look what I get to waste time doing. Come on, don't be an arsehole. Get me up, down, and around here. And then... Alright, there's old mate. Remind me again how we do this. I think we got to go down here. Then we do this, 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 that. Okay, there we go. That works. Alright. Throw the state again. I don't know why I'm making alternate saves for all of these, but whatever. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna keep spamming Thunderbolt to weaken this thing. It's proven effective enough against the trio. Let's see what happens against their master. Cool. They said something about... I can't even remember. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to that, but they said it almost was like there was another requirement to get Regigigas, but that would be really stupid if that was the case. It probably alluded to like how you unlock the golems initially, like having to use the things. So... Now this is a bit problematic because another Thunderbolt is almost certainly going to kill this thing, which really rather sucks. So now I've got to switch it out and go with the Spearmint here. That works. And it has a turn here to recharge, so if I miss then it's not going to be entirely punishing. Alright. Let's see how this works out. Oh, there it goes. I think Slow Start's worn off now, so... This thing's probably going to kick my ass initially until it has spammed superpower enough times to just go back to being shitty and weak again. Crush Grip is still doing a fair amount of damage as well as Giga Impact. Holy crap. I mean, I know it's level 70, but jeez. Come on. Probably just easy to spam the shit out of the button. So there goes one golem. Yay. Oh, almost. Ah, oh, damn it. God, am I going to get cleaned out here? Not if I keep spamming Nature Power Rock Slide. Oh, almost. Jesus. I think we blew all the wonder and joy of this segment right at the start. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. It struggled itself to death and still... Yeah, it used struggle, killed Registeel, and then also killed itself from the recoil. That was an amazing stalemate. Alright. I feel like Spearmint might be a slightly better lead here. I'd give that a shot on screen, but yeah, you don't need to see any more of this. I'll just cut back once I've caught it, and I'll report on the effectiveness of the Spearmint lead then. Okay, so I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that Regigigas in its apparently unconscious state could still see the assholishness that its creations were putting up, and so when I came down to visit it, it just decided that its creations were being absolutely adorable and showed off exactly why it's a real arsehole, because a few of the factors actually turned out to be far more influenced by RNG than it probably should have. There was damage rolls as well as IVs and nature determining whether or not this thing could tank to Thunderbolts. I also, for some reason, misclicked a number of times and ended up just knocking Regigigas out when I really shouldn't have, like a freaking idiot. And then, after all of that, when I actually did catch it, it took one ball. That saves me a little bit of time on buying more Premier Balls, I guess, but I'm still not exactly satisfied with how that went down. Also, for some inexplicable reason, okay. I don't know why that particular slidey puzzle just proved to be incredibly obnoxious for me to get through. I'm usually not terrible at sliding puzzles. Like, on some occasions it will take me a little bit of a while to do them, but besides that, it's like not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. This thing's come out naive nature, which is okay, I guess. Once you get past slow start, it then becomes relatively quick, which is actually not too bad, but you know, considering slow start freaking lasts 5 fucking turns, yeah, not exactly ideal in that situation. Also, you're supposed to go there. Okay, so I guess that's the Regis out the way, including their Trio Master. I think I'm just gonna call it there. I think this segment has been very weird. I think the playthrough as of late has been rather just weird in general. I mean, we know the previous segment was fucking gold. This segment continued that gold for at least the first few fucking minutes. Because, like I said, I'm still reeling from this shit. Which actually reminds me, I should probably put these somewhere where they're not going to interfere with the thing. So I'll just put them there. It's not like I'm using the new box for anything else. So, yeah. Next segment. I think there's a number of legendaries that require me to get the Magma Stone before I can go after them. So I probably will want to get Stark Mountain out of the way as quick as I can. The only thing is, once I've actually knocked over Stark Mountain, I'm pretty sure all that's actually left is to go after a number of legendaries. And then just do... Well, there's the gym leader rematches, but I'm probably going to do that in the stream. And then I can just sort of go on to do the Round 2 Elite Four and wrap up the LP from there, so... Not too sure what I'm going to do. It's either going to be Stark Mountain or some more legendaries. I know there's at least some more that I can go after, like Dialga and Palkia. So yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think that's enough insanity for one day. I will see you next time for whatever I decide to do.